Hello dear student, welcome in this online session of 10th standard. I hope you are doing well at your home, and I also hope that you are doing all the kinds of pending work, homework or advanced work by yourself and with your guidance of the parents. So I wish you a very happy new year. In this 2021 we have to go and complete our some of the good habits, and also we need to go with the good success also. But before starting this kinds of thing, we need to understand that struggle and the hard work along with the patience is the only key where we can develop ourselves. So today we can understand and we can actually go with the chapter which is chapter number 13 of your SS textbook NCERT as well as JCP syllabus, that is manufacturing industries. Now see, we all know that industry starting from a pin to the plane is actually relating with. It means that today in the world of 2021, or you can say since from the independence 1947, we have been developing and we will be developing. In the future we are going to develop more. So therefore we can say manufacturing of the industry is one of the topic which is going to explain you maximum utilization about the energy resources production related to the machineries. So this lesson is all about of development, circumstances and other importance of the industries which will be provided regarding to your country India. So the process in which man changes the natural resources into usable condition by his intellectuals or some kinds of his all the kinds of behavior and all, so that's how we can say it can be also a part of manufacturing industries. It's not a proper manufacturing industries, but somehow it also shows that how the man is intellectually or practically interested in manufacturing any kind of other products. Now if we talk about cultural and economical capacity, so it also can be relating with the capacity to improve his cultural and economical capacity. Now see, in the industries, if we talk about India, the Indian industry traditions are actually fond of since from the ancient valley in the civilization, and at this time we can say India has used preparing about cotton, clay, then utensils, apart from that industrial other products also, then bead, metal work, lots of kinds of things. So that's how we can say up to the 18th century India was ahead in shipbuilding industry also, and India was also ahead in handicraft as well as in the cottage industry. So there has been a heavy demand of the Indian cotton and other clothes also, muslin, then metallic utensils, ornaments or the clay utensils also in the upcoming we can say not the upcoming but in the abroad markets. So that's how students we can say okay, with the beginning of the industrial revolution, England as well as the British also used to take our raw materials. Now taking India's raw material is also one kind of contemporary thing where they needed to progress themselves. And apart from that we can say especially with the raw cotton and all, they were using to make their own products, their own materials and all. So that's how we can say policy of selling and manufacturing from we can say like products from India at the England at the higher price back to the India and all was the general kind of thing which was related with the marketing of Indian civilization in the ancient time. And that was also one of the reason which made India to be collapsing since from the industrial development, because what we were selling were in the lower cost, but what we were buying from the England was on the higher cost. So slowly Indian market collapsed out here. Now this damage of the textile industry and the Indian craftsmen of India was for a longer time, you can say like heavily it was done. Okay, so this is a kind of a history and the past history of the Indian industries, and now we are going to talk about today's industry, that is the importance of industry. See students, today's industry means the existence of the nation's development of Indian economy or finance or whatever infrastructure is depending upon the industrial development only. Because if an industry is developing, roadways will be developed, electricity will be coming there, new market will be established there. So that's how we can say economical development without industry progress will be not possible. Okay, so that's how those countries which have developed more in the industrial have strengthened their economical equally, same as we can say countries like US, United States of America, then Russia, okay, Japan, South Korea are the prosperous and they are developed nations. So on the basis of industrial development they are also progressing well, and that's how we can say those countries which industries are either not developed or are developed, we can say, are not capable to harness to the natural resources also. So for the industrial raw material they also have to depend on the other countries. So they have to sell their natural raw materials also, like for example India is selling most of the natural raw materials at a cheaper rate also to make the general amount of monies and all. So that's how we can say manufacturing industry also contributes around 29.1% of the national income of India, and that's how the administrative policy of the Britishers rule, okay, that was about to break the bone of India. Now what was the administrative policy? Administrative policy means they will buy all the kinds of materials from India on a lower cost, and they will make some kinds of utility from that, and again they will be making to sell their products on the base of Indian raw material back to Indian market, and then they will be asking for the higher price. So that's how we can say the administrative policy of the British rule broke the backbone of Indian industry. And during the slave period, means the period where the Britishers were completely ruling in India, industries with the modern methods could not be started in India. So therefore in the 1853, the first industrial trial of iron furnace was also based on actually charcoal, based on charcoal was to be started, but it actually left out here, but it was not started. So that's how we can say, okay, first unsuccessful attempt was made in 1854. Okay, so in the cotton textile industry. Thereafter a jute mill was also established in 1855 at Risra near Kolkata. In 1874 a factory was also found at the Kulti for making iron, and apart from that other materials also related to iron and all. So that's how we can say in the few years that industry also ran, but it also gave up and closed out. So it was started again in the 1881 as well as 1907. A new dimension for the industry providing foundation was also done by the Tata and Tata group of corporations. So that's how we can say Tata and Steel Company at Jamshedpur was started. These industry proved to be right time and the right person from the Tata and Tata group of corporations, right ownership and we can say management also, because nowadays also these industries are running out here. So that's how we can say classification of industries can be also done on the basis of agro-based, on the basis of raw materials and lots of kinds of things. So we can say industries can be divided into basic classifieds or classifications. Okay, now it can be human on the human labor, ownership, okay, source of raw materials on the basis of human labor, employment available, and lots of kinds of things are there which can be classified in that. Now we can say some of the scale industries are also there which can be classified. Now how can be scale industries classified? See, generally we can say cotton textile industry. Okay, when an industry under the direction of individual or the ownership is actually working with the help of the number of laborers, okay, less than or more than, that can be said as the scale industry, that you need to understand. Now in the Gujarat we can say sugar industry, there is a khansari industry. Besides this industry can be also classified as the private public, then collaborative sectors, lots of kinds of other sectors are also there which can be classified. Classification of industry, as I told you, basically it is depending upon the small and big industries. And as we go more further, then on the page number 103 you can see that agro-based industries are there. Cotton, textile, sugar, woolen textile, okay, sugar, then paper, etc. Industries are actually material obtaining industries, and also we can say that they are actually based on raw materials. So therefore these industries are also classified into agro-based industries. See, agro-based, students, means the agricultural based industries. Now cotton textile industry, if we talk about, then German industry has also implemented an important place in the industrial economical development related to India. And in this industrial sector, if we talk about, it provides around about 3.5 crore population to the employment, and it's also we can say the textile industry which also provides the maximum employment in the country. India holds about second rank also in the world after China in the export of cotton textiles. So we can understand that India and in a country like Indian people are most often they are founded to work in the field of agriculture, and also India is working progressively in the field of agriculture. So it is the main industry from the production employment of the point of view, that it can be said as the cotton. Now first cotton mill was established in Mumbai. Thereafter we can say Shahpur mills, then calico mills were also established at Ahmedabad in Gujarat. And in the initial years, say in the initial students, the textile mills were also established in Mumbai and Ahmedabad, and that's how we can say these mills were established due to cheap availability of the cotton. Means the quality was good enough but the price was very low, therefore they made this industry to expand on the large basis. And that's how we can say the labor facility, transporting facility, export, import, favorable market, everything was good enough. So we can say today cotton textile mills are located about 110 cities only in our country. Main tradition of the importance, we can say center like cotton industry as we can say like Ahmedabad is there, then Mumbai, then Bhiwandi, Solapur, Kolhapur, Nagpur, Indore, Ujjain. All of these are some of the main centers of that. So there are more mills in the Mumbai, Maharashtra, hence it is also called the cotton spoils also, and that's how we can say somehow in this industry established at Pune, We can say Kolhapur, Aurangabad, Jalgaon cities in the Gujarat. Ahmedabad is actually called the Manchester of the East, and that's how it is also known as the denim city of India. So beside, we can say cities like Vadodara, Kalol, okay, Bharuch, Surat, Porbandar, then about Rajkot. Other industries also including these kinds of areas as well as in the districts and all. And if you talk about apart from the Gujarat, then we can say main industries are in the Uttar Pradesh, then Kanpur, Etawah, then Agra, Lucknow, etc., etc., Indore, Gwalior, Ujjain, Devas. Lots of kinds of industries regarding the cotton, textile and the cotton products are available in our India, and that's how we can say cotton textile industry was set up it was also set up and trial on the basis of Rajasthan. Then apart from that, Punjab, Haryana, extensive market centers are also seen. See, transportation, bank, electricity has been contributing a lots of amount of energy, resources and empowerment also to these kinds of industries, as well as we can say considerably decentralization of these industries has been also obtained maximum. So today we can say cotton textile industry is facing tough competition. We can say due to factors like inadequate supply of best variety of cottons. Then we can say old machinery which are not working right now. Then irregular electricity. Electricity in some of the villages are not available right now, like all the 24/7. So therefore we can say competition from the artificial fiber, and to combat with the artificial fibers is not, it's like possible. So that's why we can say our cotton industry is suffering lots of in this kinds of competition with the new world and the artificial we can say synthetic fibers and other kind of fiber too. Now India export cotton clothes to Russia. Not only Russia, see, it also exports to US, then UK. Apart from that, America, Nepal, Sudan, okay, then Australia, France, South African countries, and Germany too. So that's how we can say cotton has been expanding its variety since from the ancient time. But today we need to save the cotton because, as I said you, due to the unupgraded method of the cotton textile industry, as well as the synthetic fiber industry, cotton textile industry is actually suffering very harder in these days. Now moving towards together to the more agro-based industries, as you can see on the screen, this is the jute textile industry. See, my dear student, jute is the second ranked major industry of India, and India holds the first place in the production of jute, and that's how we can say goods made from the jute, and India is also second place after Bangladesh in the export of jute. So that's how out of the total jute production of the country, West Bengal holds about 80% of the jute production, Andhra Pradesh about 10, and rest are produced by the Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Orissa, Assam, Tripura and etc. Because see, jute is actually needing much water when it is about to grow. Okay, so that's how we can say much water is needed to purify jute also as it is growing also, and so most of the mills are located very near to the river only, so that the water fetching capacities must not be expanded and it will be easily getting very enlarged amount of water and all. So that's how we can say, if you talk about the West Bengal, due to the cheap labor force, bank, insurance and other kinds of things availability, we can say jute mills are located at the bank of river Hooghly, and that's how we can say jute industries are also one of the thing which is actually expanding more. But if you talk about today, so the demand for the jute decreasing because of the option of packing material for the goods, and jute is actually facing much kind of problem, like more cost of the production, decreasing demand of jute, international markets and lots of kinds of other things. So we can say jute is one of the industry which must need to be saved out also, because right now plastic bags and other kinds of bags are also available which are not properly somehow we can say decomposed also in the atmosphere and the environment. They are not biodegradable. Then also we can say fast packaging and easy availability of these kinds of materials are making jute industry to be aside. And same as if we go more for the agro-based skills, then we can say agro-based skills is also improving the silk industry, silk textile industry. So silk production has a long tradition after China. India ranks second in the world in the production of silk, and therefore we can say in India 4 types of silks are available, okay, produced. They are mulberry, ari, tasar, munga, okay, these kinds of silks are available. Now today we can say about 300 silk weaving mills are there in India. This is compared more than the cotton mills, and therefore major states producing silk are Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh, West Bengal, Tamil Nadu, Punjab, Jammu Kashmir, as well as we can say silken clothes also exported to Europe, Africa, then Gulf countries too. And beside this also they export to Germany, Singapore, USA, Kuwait, Malaya, that is Malaysia, okay, Russia. And on the international level we can say market, Indian silk is also facing maximum demand but more than competition. Then we can say that competition is also higher. If we compare ourselves with the Chinese department, then we can say China is also producing silk in the heavy amount. As you can see now the figure, a map is shown you here. This map consists of the industries. Okay, now you can see cotton textile industry. Okay, now this cotton textile industry is actually showing you the blue color, then pink with the silken textile industry, cotton textile with the dark blue, and the navy blue is the wooden textile. So you can identify which centers are there locating with the cotton textile, like Varanasi, okay, then Bankura, then Havara, okay, Havaras and all these are for the silk industry, Belgaum, okay, Kolar, Bengaluru, Mysore silk industry. And then for Mumbai, then we can say cotton textile industry, Mumbai, then Mirzapur, then we can say like Jaipur. Apart from that, Bikaner, okay, Gurgaon, Panipat, Ludhiana, these all are the actually the industries which are locating with the cotton textile industries. So this is the map which you can refer yourself laterally. It is also written here 13.1 figure about centers of the cotton, woolen and silk textile industries. Now see, woolen textile industries are what? Woolen textile industries as a cottage industry, the history of woolen textile industry is very old. It means maximum woolen textile mills are in Punjab. Next comes in Maharashtra, thereafter woolen textile mills in the Uttar Pradesh and also Ahmedabad and Jamnagar in the Gujarat, as well as they are also the centers of this woolen textile clothes. Now see, other major states are also at the Bikaner, then Jaipur, Rajasthan, Srinagar in Jammu Kashmir, then Bengaluru in Karnataka, okay. And all the Indian, we can say other states are also producing this kinds of woolen textile industries. See, wool is also produced by the mills carrier animals like sheep. So people also use this kinds of animal for the getting wools and all. So woolen clothes is also exported to America, Canada, Germany, Russia, France, because the cold season or the winters are heavier there, so they need our wool to protect themselves. And same as if you go more further, then you can understand about the synthetic industry. Means the cloth made from the synthetic fiber made by the man is stronger, durable, and also does not contain any kind of wrinkles. Hence the industry has developed maximum and very more. So the cotton fibers are mixed with the synthetic fibers to get the mixture variety of the clothes, and somehow they are good in the quality also, not maximum but somehow. And main producers of this industry are Kerala, Gujarat, Uttar Pradesh, okay, West Bengal, then we can say Tamil Nadu, and as well as other centers of the Surat, Kanpur, then Mumbai, Ahmedabad, Kolkata, Chennai, Modinagar, etc. are also there. So see student, in this lecture we are talking about this kinds of industries, and also we are understanding that on the which factor these industries are working out here. As you can understand now, sugar industry is there, about we all are eating jaggeries, and also sugarcane juice is very old, used in the industries to making the jaggery, and therefore that's why we can say okay, this kind of industries are actually textile, or you can say they're also compared in the agrarian industry, and that's how we can say after reaping the crop of sugarcane, it has to be squeezed within 24 hours so that amount of the water is not reduced, and that's how otherwise sugar will be containing very less amount of that and it will decrease also. So we can say that is why the sugar factories are located near the sugarcane, and somehow near the sugar mills and all, and somehow we can say the sugar factories are also located in the like Indian states, like India states like Maharashtra, Uttar Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Gujarat, as well as this industry is actually developing also in the Gujarat at Bardoli, Gandevi, then Surat, Navsari, Viara, Bharuch, okay, and Kodinar. Apart from that, Talala, Gir also. So these are the industries located in the Gujarat related to the sugar industry, and then we are moving on the paper industries. So now you can see paper industry. Paper is actually made up of softwood, that is the pulp of the wood. You can also call it like bamboo, grass, molasses, etc. It is produced in Andhra Pradesh, Maharashtra, West Bengal, Odisha, Karnataka, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, as well as Chhattisgarh, Tamil Nadu and Haryana. And therefore we can say this industry is also well used, because today in this educative sector, or we can say in the paper media, news and all, basically we use these kinds of paper. So we need these kinds of industries too, but we are not needing these kinds of industries in order that whole of the tree or the forest could be cut out here. So we need to save the atmosphere and the environment and the nature too. Now comes the mineral based industries. See, the industries where mineral are used as the raw material are known as the mineral based industries. Industries such as iron and steel industry, aluminium industry, copper industry, okay, then chemical, fertilizer, means of the transportation, electrical goods, mineral based industries are also known as the mineral based industries only. So these industries are somehow we can say key part of the industrial development as well as the vehicular transportation too, and therefore furthermore we can say iron and steel industry is also a part of like that same only, because iron and steel industry is the axis of modern individual industry related to the economical development, and it is how compared to be the base of industry, means the basic systematic theory where the industrial development are starting. Iron and steel industry, machines and other constructions are produced from the productions, and thus this can be also considered to be a very key industry. So we can say the process of making iron is very old in the India, and iron making was also important, like we can say iron was also important in India by the swords of Damascus, and that's how we can say the first factory in India to produce iron was also established at Pothanova, that is in Tamil Nadu. And it was also like for a couple of time, like couple of years it started, but it was also closed due to some of the reasons. So we can say successful production of the raw iron was made at Kulti, okay, in 1907 in Bengal. So that's how the factory established at Jamshedpur Tata Jamshed started these kinds of iron and steel production on a very large scale, and factories were also established at Berhampur in the West Bengal, as well as we can say Bhadravati in the Karnataka also, and iron and steel industries also established in Bhilai, Rourkela, and at the Durgapur, and other large scale industries are also established there. So which can say the large scale industries which were established related to iron and steel industry was somehow related with the state of Jharkhand, as you can say Bokaro, Vishakhapatnam, Salem, as well as iron and ore plus coal, limestone, manganese were also used as a raw material for the producing of iron and steel. So a mini steel plant were also set up near Hazira in Gujarat. So the administration of all the iron and steel factories except Tata is handed over to the Steel Authority of India, that is SAIL, S-A-I-L, that is Steel Authority of India Limited, and India ranks 5th in the world about the iron and steel production about the industries. Now see, centers of the steel industry, iron and steel industry, you can focus it out how the pink color of the dots are given there, which shows the iron and steel industry established in our nation. So that's how, if we move further, then we will get this some more industry. Now comes the aluminium refinery industry, which was found about 40 to 50% of the expense incurring the electricity, as well as this industry has been also founded, or we can say this industry has also found where the hydroelectricity and bauxite are available easily, plus factors are available for the production of aluminium also favorable here, as well as we can say states like Odisha, West Bengal, Uttar Pradesh, Kerala, Chhattisgarh, Maharashtra, etc. are also one of the we can say base states which are providing these kinds of industries and all. The same as we can say our country is developing, my dear students. See, these kinds of lots of kinds of industries are there. If I'm gonna read all the kinds of industry, it will be night a day. Okay, so we can say okay, these kinds of industries are very useful, and they're also one of the backbone of India, because these kinds of industries are only the industries which are helping our nation and also which are making our nation to go further on the basis of development, economical development, or we can say like infrastructure development, or lots of kind of development. So that is how these kinds of industries are available. And next comes the copper refining industry, where you can understand that copper is very useful for the electricity and industries purpose also. For example, about refrigerator, air cooler, air conditioner, automobile, radiator, domestic utensils. So these kinds of things are related with the copper. And if I go with the history, then we can say first copper mill was in India was found at the Indian Copper Corporation, that is ICC, Gatsila in Jharkhand, 1972. So that's how we can say. Furthermore, it was also handed to the Hindustan Copper Limited, HCL. So this is the basic history of the copper. And same as furthermore, if you go more further, you can see about chemical industry, then chemical fertilizers industry, okay, plastic industry, cement industry, all these kinds of industries are located, okay, where you can understand about the transporting about equipment also can be done by this. As I have mentioned you can also read by yourself about the industries, nothing more, just the examples and the states are given there, so you can go it by yourself. Now see, transport economical industries, or you can say transport equipment industry. If you have seen many vehicles for the travel, earlier there were like animal driven from the one place to another, animal cart vehicles were there which were very slow. Okay, so today in the modern age, vehicle with the faster speed along with the development of the roads have came together in the use, and the industry which produces such kind of vehicle is also known as the industrial, like transport equipment industry. In this kinds of category you can find railway. Okay, now railway deserves an appreciation because we can say in the traveling of the states or the country like India, railway manufacture and the equipment of its own requirement by itself, such as railway engine, passenger coaches, goods coaches, etc., are produced privately. There are there are basic three types of railway engines also located in India, that is steam, diesel, electric, and these system of the railway engines or railway systems are working very efficiently. So somehow we can say diesel electric engines are also producing this kinds of heavy power which can transport not only the men but the material from one place to another, as well as animal and the other goods too. So therefore diesel and electric engines are also produced at the Mejam in the Chittaranjan locomotive work in the West Bengal, such as diesel locomotive work at the Varanasi is also located, and Tata locomotive works at Jamshedpur, plus passenger coaches are also located or made out at Perambur, Bengaluru, then Kapurthala and Kolkata. So these are the basic thing which is actually associating with the railway industries. Now comes the road vehicles. Before the independence, we used to manufacture cars by assembling its important parts also. Means we need to get the part from the other part of the country and then we'll be fixing in our cars in India. Now factories are manufacturing truck, bus, car, motorcycles, scooters and cycles which are establishing in our country also. So it is good enough that we are using Swadeshi things. So the road vehicles are manufactured mostly by the private sectors, obviously, and India ranks 5th in the world in the production of commercial vehicles too. Commercial vehicles means the vehicles which is used for the earning purpose, okay, for the we can say for the getting money purpose, for the business purpose. So today the vehicles at their spare part manufactured in India and are exported to the foreign country. Means we have changed the coin side. And tractor, cycle producing very in the large amount scale are also one of the thing which can be appreciated well, and overseas market is also working according to the need of their own, and we are providing also whatever the industrial development or the whatever the we can say vehicles are there. Okay, so same as we can say shipbuilding industries there, like we have, this is an ancient industry in India, and in the recent time if we talk about that, there are centers of shipbuilding modern style also. Apart from that, these are Visakhapatnam, then Kolkata, Kochi, Mumbai, Marmugao, okay, and other public sectors are also located in the shipbuilding industries like Kochi, Visakhapatnam, building the ship about the larger size. About the private dockyards fulfilling the local needs are also located there, and we have also started producing about helicopters, then aircraft, building about units, establishing at the Bengaluru, then Koraput, Nasik, Hyderabad, Lucknow, and etc. So see, the building of the aircraft of the passenger traveling still not started in India, because we are just making the fighter jets, okay, not of the all helicopters, we are making the choppers and all. But today also if we need to get Rafales, if you want to get Apache helicopters and all, then we need to buy from Russia or France only. So that's how we can say still we are lacking in the production, in the progress, but soon we'll be going furthermore. And if I talk about the passenger planes like Indigo Airlines, Jet Airways, whatever the airways are there where you and I, we all are traveling, that all the kinds of airways are actually purchased by the abroad countries. Like France is making the Boeing Airways. Boeing is one of the company which is making almost all the cheapest airways, air coaches and all. And another one is the Airbus. Airbus is actually produced by America. India is unable to afford this kinds of heavy Airbuses and all for the passengers, so we are actually buying the Boeing jets and we are naming them on our Indian names, and then these kinds of airways are actually flying in India as a transporting system. So this is how we can say shipbuilding industry. Then electronic industries, about the radio and other kinds of industries are there. Industrial pollutions and the degradation also you can study out here. See, as we go more further, we need to focus here. Okay, industrial production has a noteworthy contribution in the economical development of the nation, and that's how industries have increased the population as well as the pollution also. So now environment has been degrading. Degrading means it is not in the perfect mood, and that's how the environment condition is deteriorating. It is becoming very ill, and due to the natural and man-made reasons, the quality of the environment has been reduced, which is also called natural environment degradation, or you can say environmental degradation. It means in the shortcut, my dear student, that due to progress we have actually forgotten the protection of the nature, and we are polluting the water, we are polluting the land, and also mainly we are polluting the air also. So that's how we can say these all the, because noise pollution is also one of the pollution which is actually polluting very dangerous kinds of diseases, and human beings are slowly losing their concentration to hear also, and that's how we can say it is very harmful. Some of the gases are also released due to industries like carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide and all, which has been increasing in the pollution, and industrial influence are being also can be seen in the atmosphere. So today many factories releasing their industrial waste in the river, ignoring the laws. Water today is heavily polluted, as well as the aquatic life has been also in the danger. Noise pollution is also one of the reasons, as I said, which is creating the deafness in the human life, as well as this is also creating the chaos in the atmosphere. Now due to the old machinery also, these means of transportation, noise pollution has been increased. Man experience mental as well as tension due to these kinds of noises and all, and that's how we can say we need to go for the remedies too. Now see, remedies means conservation. Remedies to curb the environmental degradation. The country should make progress, but the progress should be made in such a way that environment is not degraded. And that's how the amount of pollution can be reduced with the proper planning and also with the industrial development. It means pollution can be reduced also by selection of the quality of the equipment and also fuel too. The air pollution can be curbed through the filters. Area by area, we need to establish the big amount of filters which can clear the air. And also we can say that the water after proper treatment means they should be checked out, they should be filtered before releasing inside the nearby areas or the river or pond, whatever the treatment they are giving, that should be given very proper. And that is how this lesson is actually making us to understand about industrial manufacturing development. But the population is actually going with the industries, farming is left, and the pollution is actually releasing from the industry, conservation is left. So we need to understand to save our nature also. I hope you enjoyed the lecture. We'll be meeting you in some other part of this lecture. This was chapter number 13, manufacturing industries. See you, take care, keep revising.